A quiet but powerful shift is unfolding in West Africa. Without elections, without global headlines, and without approval from traditional regional power brokers, Captain Ibrahim Traoré has stepped into a new role that could redefine the future of the Sahel. At a summit in Bamako, Traoré was named the new chair of the Alliance of Sahel States, known as AES, a military-led bloc formed by Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. This is more than a leadership change. It is a signal that a new political axis is consolidating power, one that is openly distancing itself from ECOWAS and challenging decades of regional order. So what does Traoré's rise mean for the Sahel, for West Africa, and for the balance of power on the continent? The Alliance of Sahel States was formed after a series of military takeovers in Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. Each of these countries faced similar pressures: Islamist insurgencies, public anger at political elites, growing resentment toward foreign military presence, sanctions and isolation from ECOWAS. Instead of returning to civilian-led transitions under external pressure, the three military governments chose a different path: cooperation with each other. AES was designed as a security-first alliance, focusing on joint military operations, intelligence sharing, and economic coordination. It represents a clear break from the ECOWAS framework, which the three states accuse of serving external interests over regional realities. Captain Ibrahim Traoré's appointment as chair of AES follows a rotating leadership structure within the alliance. He succeeds Mali's General Assimi Goïta, who played a central role in establishing the bloc. Traoré's rise is symbolic. At just 30-something years old, he is now one of the youngest heads of state in the world, and the public face of a regional alliance that rejects Western-backed political timelines. His leadership reflects a growing trend in the Sahel: military legitimacy derived not from ballots, but from promises of security and sovereignty. For supporters, Traoré represents resistance to foreign influence. For critics, he represents the normalization of military rule. One of the most consequential aspects of AES is its deliberate distancing from ECOWAS. ECOWAS has long positioned itself as the guarantor of constitutional order in West Africa, responding to coups with sanctions and diplomatic pressure. But for Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, ECOWAS is increasingly viewed as ineffective or even hostile. Under Traoré's leadership, AES has framed itself as an alternative regional model, one that prioritizes counter-terrorism, resource control, and political autonomy. This shift weakens ECOWAS's authority and signals a fragmentation of West Africa's traditional power structures. Security remains the alliance's central mission. The Sahel is one of the most violent regions in the world, with armed groups controlling large territories and targeting civilians, soldiers, and infrastructure. AES has announced plans for joint military operations, coordinated border patrols, shared intelligence networks. Under Traoré's chairmanship, the alliance has emphasized large-scale operations aimed at reclaiming territory and disrupting insurgent networks. However, results remain mixed, and civilian protection remains a critical concern. Beyond security, AES aims to coordinate economic policy. The alliance has discussed trade cooperation, resource sovereignty, reducing dependence on Western institutions. This economic dimension is still developing, but it reflects a broader ideological shift, one focused on self-reliance and regional solidarity. For Traoré, economic coordination strengthens the alliance's legitimacy beyond the battlefield. The rise of AES has drawn mixed reactions. Western governments have expressed concern about democratic backsliding and human rights risks. At the same time, the alliance has sought new partnerships beyond traditional Western allies, reshaping diplomatic alignments in the region. Traoré's leadership will likely accelerate this geopolitical reorientation. Traoré's leadership of AES places him at the center of one of Africa's most volatile regions. The alliance faces enormous challenges: persistent insecurity, economic hardship, international isolation. Success could redefine regional cooperation in the Sahel. Failure could deepen instability. What is clear is this: the Sahel is no longer waiting for approval from outside powers. Under Ibrahim Traoré, it is charting its own course, for better or worse. If you want serious analysis of global power shifts beyond headlines, subscribe to the channel. Because the future of geopolitics is often decided far from the spotlight.